show you where I used to live. Drive by it on the way to...
This is way back in the day?
This was during college.
Broadmoor?
My mom lived there.
Oh.
And so I lived with her when I wasn't going to college. So here's an interesting thing. 1968, my dad was making 90 grand. He bought a 4,000 square foot mansion with a view of the golf course, the lake, and the Cascade Mountains for, call it, 2/3 of his annual income. Now the average person spends, what, 5 to 7 times their annual income for a house?
It's amazing.
My ex-father-in-law, I was talking to him and his dad once when his dad was still alive. His dad paid half his annual income for his house. My father-in-law paid his annual income for his house. And my wife and I bought our first house for 5 times our annual income of our house. And now, here in Seattle,
Good luck.
800 grand for a, regular house.
Kind of amazing the way things change.
Yeah.
Now leasing flats with style. You know what that means?
Yeah, it means you're going to pay
expensive.
$3 grand a month. Hey, today I want to talk to you about attitude. A lot of people say attitude is everything. Well, attitude isn't everything, but attitude is so significant. And attitude is something that you choose, right? Sometimes people say, well, I'm in a bad mood. Well, you don't have to be in a bad mood. You can choose to view things differently. Usually bad moods come from things like negative circumstances happened, and so you feel badly about it. But the fact is that we don't have to be driven by our circumstances. We're driven by the choice that we make about how we perceive those circumstances. Your attitude is how you perceive things, right? So there's lots of things that you cannot change. You can't change the national economy. You can't change the weather. You can't change any of those things. Hey, look at this. Seaplane taking off. That's why you're losing my voice a little bit. But no, it's super awesome to understand that you can choose your attitude. So when you get up every day, again, you can't change the national economy, you can't change the weather, you can't change what some politician's going to do back in Washington, D.C., but you can choose the way you view things. You can change your attitude, right? So even if something negative happens, you can choose to make something positive out of it. There's so many examples of this. A couple of them. One would be the founder of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Of course, it was horrible that her son was killed by a drunk driver, and certainly could ruin your attitude, and certainly caused her probably the greatest pain she ever experienced in her life. But she chose to channel that, turn it into something good because of her attitude, and she started something that became worldwide Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, right? So that's so amazing to understand. You can even take the most negative of all circumstances, turn it into something positive. Another one I read about, a story about a little girl who was 8 years old. She was dying of cancer and had maybe 6 months to live. She started a whole foundation to provide teddy bears for little kids that were in terminal situations. So she could have said, this is horrible, I'm not going to live the rest of my life, I'm not going to see all the things I wanted to see, but instead what she did was she decided to do something positive, and that legacy still lives on. So it really is about choosing something positive even in the midst of negative circumstances. Super easy to have a positive attitude when everything's going great. Walking down the street, you find a lottery ticket, win $100 million. Of course you're going to have a positive attitude. But what happens when something negative happens? When something negative happens, that's when you're presented with a choice. Today, choose your attitude. No matter what's going on, choose a positive attitude. Choose to view the good that can come out of any situation, especially negative situations. We're in the big town of Fremont, or as they like to call it around here, People's Republic of Fremont. You'll find out why in just a few minutes.
Or less.
Oh, there's why.
Did you hear the story behind this one?
Something like
it was in a minor city in Russia, but this guy found it in a dump because they had pulled it out and they're just going to let it get destroyed. And it was actually created by this dissident artist, and it was symbolically a protest statue of Lenin. Most people don't know that.
Right.
And these are supposed to be weapons that came to power on the basis of force and not by ideology.
And now you got the city of Fremont paid for it. You know how much they paid for it?
No, it was free.
Oh, it was free. They got it for free.
Yeah.
Well, heck, if it's free, I could see everybody getting one. They're handing out Lenin
I think that,
statues.
let's see what it says.
Who wouldn't take one?
Let's see what it says on the... Why is his hand red? Yeah, there's blood in his hands. I get it.
I don't think it was always like that, though.
No, that's new.
I think some... You getting married?
Yes.
Congratulations.